For the rain with the heavyweight. World Series on #1.
And welcome back to another episode of Grind.Music.Repeat. It's your host, Draquan, HoodRockTV, whatever y'all like to call me sometimes. I got a special guest with y'all, and we kicking off season 3 with a bang. I appreciate all the listeners, all of the thinkers that tune in and watch the show and stuff like that. Now, I thank y'all for paying attention and tuning in with us. So I hope y'all days is prosperous as mine is. And I got a special guest here with me, Llewelyn Hicks. Mr. Miss, I call him. You know what I'm saying? But that's how we do it. It's, yeah, because Shelly, she like to call him that too. So I want to say thank you for joining me today.
Always.
Thank you, man. So how you doing this morning, man?
Doing well.
Okay.
Can't complain, man.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
Ready for that year too.
It is, man. I got a nice birthday gift on Thursday night. My Falcon stole one.
Oh,
Tampa Bay Buccaneers right there, man. That right there was nice, man. So I know you as like, you know, like a kind of like a role model, a father figure, kind of aspiration giver and stuff like that. So for people that don't know you, you know what I'm saying, tell them a little bit more about who you are and what you represent.
Okay, well, my name is Llewelyn Hicks, and born here in Clinton, North Carolina. This is my hometown, and this is a special place for me. You know, this is where it all started at, actually. When I graduated in 1991, Clinton Dark Horse fan.
Yes.
Praise up to our 91 crew.
Yeah.
And you're born in 91? Yeah, when I met you, man, you know, hanging around you like this, man, you know. So to see you support, that's right. But seeing you grow up, and I'm just proud of you for what you're doing.
Thank you.
And thanks for having me on.
Oh, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
When you talked to me, and I was ecstatic about it. So that was great. But once again, my name's Llewelyn. Here in Clinton, you know, hometown folks, they call me Mess. That's my nickname. Don't too much go by as much because all my colleagues and friends call me Lou or Llewelyn, you know. But when I'm home, I'm always Mess.
Okay.
When I go to my grandma, hey Mess. You know, so that's what it is. But I'm a business person. I went to college, went to St. Augustine's University, graduated in 1995, 96. Then proceed my master's degree in social work in Fayetteville State University. That's where I became my MSW, Master's in Social Work. And then we pursued a licensure degree for licensed clinical social work.
That's amazing, right?
That's pretty much where I'm at.
Yeah, that's amazing. I've always seen you do some nice work. So like, how does that introduction begin? Like, as far as like getting into your kind of field, providing the services that you provide.
It was good for me because years ago, my trajectory of my career changed after college.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted to be a forensic in the law firm. You know, when someone has get killed or something like that, they got the forensics.
Oh, yeah.
I was intrigued by forensics, so I went to school for criminal justice. And but I couldn't get an internship. So without an internship, I knew I didn't want to be a police officer. I didn't want to be a probation officer. So that's all I really wanted to do was do some forensic side.
Yeah.
So after that, it changed my trajectory, doing other things, especially becoming an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So when the entrepreneur side kicked off, I was probably 25. I started my first business. It was a barbershop. And the barbershop was in Durham. We called it the Hair Galleria. I think it was 1999. And the Hair Galleria was the barbershop was upstairs. The salon was downstairs. It was on Main Street in Durham. And from there, you know, we did well for 2 or 3 years. But I'm a barber. I got my license that same year. I put the barbershop upstairs. Nobody could see me. But the salon was downstairs, so they got business.
Yeah.
So I was struggling upstairs with no clients. So after the lease was up, came hometown Clinton. Actually, let me go back. So I met some guys, T&J Fatwear. T&J Fatwear had a clothing store behind my shop. They sold T-shirts. So back in the 90s, early 2000s, it was all about t-shirts. And so I started hustling the t-shirts. And I would come down here to Clinton to sell my t-shirts to all my friends and family, you know, etc. And from there, I moved the barbershop and salon. From there, we closed it down. I moved back to Clinton with that aspect in mind. So, but before I opened up the barbershop, I opened up a clothing store, actually right on the same street. It was called New Era Attire, because we're going into a new era. It was early going into the 2000s. So I wanted to have a nice concept about the urban wear clothing that we was selling. So we came in the New Era. From New Era, we came and we did great with New Era. And me and one of my high school classmates, we moved to, a few years later, Walmart just opened up here in Clinton. And we opened up called Urban Wear. So we moved into the shopping center aspect. Probably should have stayed downtown because it was too expensive for the clientele that we had. So I was making more money not knowing downtown, going to a bigger market with more expensive, you know. So that sort of got into the clothing area. And from the clothing side, we went to a barbershop. I bought the barbershop back in Clinton then, and I changed it to called Images. So Images was the concept, the barber beauty side. So you can see both the windows, and you can see both of the salon and the barbershop. So now I'm seeing, and now we can get more people to come in.
So you use something from what you started at, and then you kind of took time, created a system of where you can actually think it out, and then you applied it.
That's correct. Because you know, a lot of times when you're in a bigger city and you bring it home, you have time to sort of grow it because it's not as expensive, and you got more support from your family and friends. I didn't know anybody in Durham, and I lived in Raleigh, so I didn't know anybody, so it was a challenge for that aspect. So I felt if I come home, get more support from the hometown folks, more people know about the business that we have, and it'll go prosper from there.
That was gonna be one of the questions, one of those challenges there right there. So we on Images now. So as far as like the whole as far as the location of Images, because that was the beauty world right there next door. Did that play any in any kind of aspect of why you put that right there like that?
Yeah, because Images, especially for the salon, they always had people coming in, especially for the females. They buying hair for the braids, they buying shampoo or whatever. So if they see a salon, a lot of time we got traffic flow coming from beauty world. And at that time, that was probably the only beauty world here in the city, in the inner city anyway, you know. So that really helped out a whole lot. And at that time, you know, that's where we grew up at. We were sort of thriving over there. You know, people used to walk downtown and, you know, just hang out. But now it's changed. It's more quiet now. But that location was a great location too. And it's in the center of Clinton, so we call it cross town. But you can go either side and you can walk, but we're right in the heart in the middle.
They're right there. So like as far as like, how would you like your overall grade of how those kind of endeavors worked out for you? How would you grade yourself? What would you change? What could you do better? If you ever thought about that?
Yeah, I think about it all the time. But, you know, when you become an entrepreneur, you always got to think ahead. Like not from 1 year, like from 4 or 5 years down the line. But if I can change anything, I wouldn't change anything because I use that as a learning experience. And I got to the point where, you know, I didn't want any more mom and pops. It's like, okay, I need to get to another level. So I was thinking, hey, let me see where we can go. So from the experience with the clothing store, been there, done that. You know, we used to go to the Vegas show. It's called the Magic Show. So we'll fly to Vegas. We meet a lot of different vendors, and that's where we buy our product and then ship it here. And so that was a good experience. You see, I think we met Master P. We met a lot of guys. There was Nas, who was doing the Willie Esco at the time. So the guys who owned the Willie Esco brand. So we factored with that company. So that was a lot of experience. And then it was like it's time to move on from that, because now we're going into the 2000s.
Yeah.
Things are still rapidly changing.
Right.
And so one day, I was at my clothing store at the Walmart shopping center in Urbanwell. I'm like, you know, I think it's time for a change. You know, I had a partner at the time, and they were just growing apart too. And so I went and I was looking at the newspaper actually, and I saw a job, case management. So I already had a degree, and so this particular job, didn't know too much about case management, but they're paying $17 an hour. They said, "Hey, I'm going back to work," right? So we went to I got hired, and one of she's like my sister today. She taught me how to do case management. So case management is like you link, arrange, and assess different services for clients. You know, so you sort of be that case manager for people that they can function, but they just need more direction. Right. So I got the love for that, and from there, it was 2001 or two, and I'm like, man, you know, how can you open up a company like this? They had a psychiatrist, and they had Miss Watson. She was a social worker, licensed social worker. So I talked to my partner. Her name is Natasha. Like, you know, we need to do to open up an agency. Guess we got to go to grad school. Cynthia, she's a SSW. So we enrolled in Fayetteville State. And we graduated in 2005. In 2006, we was able to transition to my company is called PGL, Professional Group Living. We got that name because we wanted to be professional, and at the time we were leaning more towards group homes. We didn't even do group homes at the time. We were just doing more of our community support services in 2006. So from the experience that I was gathering from barbershops and the clothing store was challenging me to be the next level. Now we get government contracts and dealing with a whole different gamut of individuals.
So you feel like most of that experience kind of helped you as far as dealing with people and the interactions and stuff like that. I think that will work out.
Yeah, it did. It helped me with working with different people and experiences, you know, because not having that small barbershop atmosphere, you meet people from all across the globe, you don't know them. But now you're dealing with people in their lives, so it's a whole different gamut, you know. So that's where I got that experience from. But PGL was a great experience. We was there we at PGL for about 4 years, from 2006 to 2010. And then we transitioned to my own special thing outside of that.
People go to school and stuff like that, and then they get their degree, but sometimes it's hard to find like a job in their field so that they can use that degree. You know, like, so is there any kind of advice that you can give to somebody like that?
Yeah, I think having a degree helps because it shows that you can work through things and you can accomplish a task, right? And it helps you, when we do a lot of speaking classes, like articulate certain things, you can be more well-rounded with a degree. The only downside is like the jobs. A lot of times I went to school for forensic and I couldn't get a job. Couldn't get the internship. It was political. But I had to look at it and say, hey, with my personality, I like helping people, right? And so social work was a great fit for me. And the case management was a great fit for me. But like I said, a lot of times you have to get a foundation from somewhere. And I tell anybody, if you don't get a degree, at least get a trade. Because that's going to distinguish you from a job in a career. You just having a job these days, it's rough, you know, because I think now, and especially your generation, you guys see more advanced than we were. And we was advanced at the time too, but now you guys are getting way more advanced, you know, doing things, especially with the podcast. And it's a whole different world. And truthfully now, you see individuals become millionaires without that because of social media.
Yeah.
So it's just it helps.
Yeah.
It helps.
Because I think like even in what I do, like when I make music and as we create the sounds and things like that, I see it as far as like as we have so much access to it and we can put out so much as we want to, like it ain't no thing about a record label no more or clearing a record or anything. But I think it's still like a higher standard that you got to hold yourself to just because it's so easy and stuff like that. So like as far as like what separates you, you know what I'm saying? That's kind of what makes you as a person, and that's what people see, you know. So as far as like the services that you provide, you know what I'm saying? What separates your services from anything else? Like what makes it distinguishable other than yourself?
Okay. Well, first, I brand what I do, right? Progressive is my brand. So let me go back. I'll just tell you what I do have.
Okay.
We have progressive healthcare and counseling services where we do the home healthcare side. And attached to that, we do the counseling side. So a lot of times, make it different from any just particular home health care. If you got a client in your home and they may need counseling, they may be suffering from depression.
Yeah.
So I can go in there and still serve that client and treat them for depression or any mental health illness that they may have.
Yeah.
And they still get their home health care services because it's not a conflict of interest.
Yeah.
I'm just making sure that their well-being is okay.
Yeah.
So that's one way we can distinguish my progressive home care in that regards. Even then we go into my trucking company, Progressive Logistics Trucking Company. I don't drive trucks, but I looked at the trucks as volume. It's a number thing, you know. So I'm looking at 7, 8 trucks. How can I get to the next level, right? There's really no difference from other companies that I see out here. I pride myself on having I'm a small business, but I want to be corporate, just like the big guys. So people come to me, we're going to do our background checks and everything, but I'm not a 1099. I'm a W-2 employer. Right. So you're going to get a pay stub and you go get your tax at the end of the year. Yeah. You know, so those things don't do. They want to pay on the table. Right. But you say, hey, if I'm a truck driver, I'll get paid on the table. How can I ever afford to get my own house if I really don't truly have a stove? Right. And a lot of people who came to me wasn't used to that. Yeah. And I found that they were struggling because they really couldn't get an apartment, things like that. You know, so I wanted to be different, and I wanted to teach them too. Yeah. Because you know, from being a clinician, therapist, when I have my drivers, everybody have issues. Yeah. So I'm able to really counsel my drivers. Yeah. So we may be on the phone talking. Pretty much can be a session. Yeah. You know, so a lot of times I just give them insight. So from my background and working with those guys and anybody I hire, is the difference with progressive logistics. Yeah.
You care about how they feel, you know what I'm saying?
You have to care about how they feel. You know, somebody could to me, they don't care about how I feel. Yeah. I don't think I want to do any business with you or don't really want to be around you. Yeah. You know?
I got a quote in a song that I'm working on. It said, step away when people stop saying what people care say. Cause it's like, it's a certain kind of love and compassion. Like I seen it on a Batman movie. It said, compassion is a feeling my enemies won't share. You know, so it's kind of good to differentiate that right there. So like, as far as while we there talking about, you know, how you could be able to have those kind of conversations with people up here on Grind.Music.Repeat, how much of a role does mental health play, you know what I'm saying, in as far as like a work environment, or as far as like building a brand, or as far as, you know, just dealing with the ups and downs of the industry?
Say the big part, man, because when you have the stresses of the behind the scenes of how things work in business, that will affect you because you want to go one way and then it goes left, right? So you have to be sharp and strong and know yourself.
Yeah.
So it won't get to you, because you got to sit there and say, hey, what's my 5-year plan? To see how it goes.
Yeah.
So you just don't get there and stop. Even though you might say, man, this is depressing, or this is too hard, or whatever. You just got to keep on going. But it definitely can play a part if you're not a strong-minded person. And I believe everybody needs someone to talk to, just to go through the day-to-day.
Yeah.
You know, if I don't have super good friends that I can talk to, a lot of my friends are therapists, so we sit back and just talk and get things out, you know, because we have to have our outlet as well.
Right.
And now, you know, it's not a shame when people talk about mental health now, because they wouldn't, years ago, they wouldn't talk about it.
Like, oh, test that.
Yeah, but it's like, hey, if I just need somebody to talk to help me process, to save somebody's lives. And that's what it's about. Saving people, helping people, you know. That's what it's about.
That's definitely something right there, especially like how you flash back towards before. It was a thing where they would not put their hands on it. Oh, what? Trying to, that's the word I was looking for. So as far as like seeing that grow and change, what's something about like, especially like in the mental health field, or as far as like providing those kind of services that you would want to see change, or you want to see more of?
More services?
Yeah, like as far as like as far as like a therapy session, you know what I'm saying? What kind of more evolved kind of therapy is there? Like as far as like, okay, well, yeah, I'll talk with you about your life, you know what I'm saying? I talk with you about your work, you know what I'm saying? But is there like a thing in that kind of field that you wish you could add to or take away?
I think that field is very broad. We have a lot of different types of services. Kids for play therapy, or vet therapy, you know, different terms.
Yeah.
So you have different ways, depending on that person.
Yeah.
It's a service for that person, or a specialty for that individual. So I think we're broad in that we can serve anybody we need to, if they have that credential or that certification.
Yeah.
But do I see anything in the field? It evolves. So you got to continue to get training. You got to continue to get your continuing education unit, CEUs, just so you can be on top of things and embrace for future roles, especially now with social media. So that has really changed, and now it's came to an aspect where they're doing more therapy, telehealth, on Zoom. You know, so they're making it more convenient. You know, so as someone who's don't really want to, they shy, they may not want to come into the office, or they're coming in from work, they can chime in right there, you know. So they are evolving and enhancing mental health. And I do know here in North Carolina they have different services. So it ain't just like for therapy, they have like enhanced services. Years ago it started out like community support. The community support being was where they have a case manager to come out and then work with their kids or the family, or peer support services, community support team. So it's a lot of different services out there with mental health.
Okay. So like you're a licensed therapist.
Yes.
Okay. So like as far as just the aspect of what people come to therapy for, what's some of the biggest like kind of outlying things that you've seen?
What it could for a lot of times it can be depression. You know, it's huge. A lot of times it could be PTSD. It could be someone military who's just going through some things. Bipolar. You know, so just a lot of different diagnoses. It's just a lot.
So I don't think you would think that they just want overall kind of like fixer for all of that.
There's no fixer for just one.
No.
And it's ongoing. Services are ongoing. As the person evolves in life, I feel they always need some type of services or therapies. You know, it might not be weekly, monthly, it could be yearly, but at least they can still check in with that individual.
Cause I caught like how we named the show Grind.Music.Repeat. I think like that grind part of our life, sometimes it's like we'll have to like push suppress certain kind of feelings and stuff like that. And then like as in this age of information, like where we can see everything and stuff like that, and then it's like they certain kind of levels of anxiety that come with certain things, like even if it's, you know, success or how people get stage fright or stuff like that, or like just a overall like, oh, I don't even know if I'm ready for this kind of thing like that right there. So like I just want to thank you, because like it's like a real thing, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then I think we done lost so many people just because of, you know what I'm saying, that kind of thing like that right there. So I just really want to thank you for that right there. You know, that's a service that's always, I mean, I know you ain't just about the dollars for that right there, because like just the help of that right there, that you can provide somebody, that kind of safety blanket that you could be for them, that right there is amazing right there, man.
Oh yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, that's extensive right there. Like, so okay, so what is there anything coming up as far as like, you know, what you go spraying the brand, you know, you got room for expansion? How you feel?
Well, you know, I started 25 years ago, now 26. Celebrate our 25th year anniversary last year.
Shout out to that.
And, you know, when you're young, you think you can keep going and going and going. But then I really found myself pivoting, right? Say, hey, let me just stay in my lane here. Let's just see how it goes. Yeah. So with the home health care, which is 17 years with home health care. Yeah. And my wife, she runs that for me now. I can't do everything. But she runs that division. That allowed me at one point in 2018 we opened up a car dealership in Fayetteville. We closed this year actually. I didn't want to be spread thin anymore. The trucking company, Progressive Logistics, started taking a life of its own. I mean, it's busy. Yeah. All the time.
So that kind of can just operate by itself.
No, it can't run by itself.
Not by itself completely, but as far as like it's got a method of its own.
Yes, it does. Okay. It has a method of its own. You know, you dealing with drivers to mechanics, the breakdowns. You know, so it's just a lot. So it's a highs and lows with it. You know, one of my drivers asked me, "So how do you get from counseling, healthcare to trucking?" Yeah. I thought it was going to be very lucrative, you know, so I'm like, hey, you know, if I get 8-9 trucks, I'm pulling in $1,500 a week for myself. Yeah. Great. That don't, on paper look good, but it's not reality. Nah. At some time, if you make the money, this thing, you know, oh, you got a transmission issue, or you got a clutch, or you got tire burnings, you know, so, you know, like today before I even came to the interview, got 3 trucks right here getting worked on right now. And sorry, my phone was ringing, but that was my driver calling me, you know, so I'll get with him.
But we're gonna get with you.
You know, but we just needed certain things to keep it going. And my job is really be the parts guy. So if there's a breakdown, my driver says a breakdown, we get to the shop, they tell me what it is, I make sure that part is there. So it's like I done included like a parts department in the company.
Like a rock out of
That's right. So I'm always at Velocity or Fleet Pride, KW, somewhere getting a part for the trucks, you know. So it's a world of its own with trucking, but I do like it, you know. I like the ongoing. You know, I'm moving and shaking. So even though I don't do therapy like I used to, because for the last 4 or 5 years, really with trucking, but we do stay in tune with my colleagues with the mental health side. Yeah. But the trucking just got my attention. Yeah. But going to the future, we are working on a real estate. Okay. So actually, we have 5 acres here in Clinton, and put 10 duplexes. So how shapes to be 5 on each side, duplexes to be 20 apartments. Yeah. And then another project we got is storage facilities. Working on trying to build this 100 storage facilities right here in the city. So that's my end all for my inheritance, for my kids and stuff. And that's what I'm working on now. That's a 5-year plan, so we already got the land. So now within 4 years, everything should be established here. Okay.
So, okay, I got one last question, and then we're gonna give seeing some love out there into the universe. So, as far as like a young entrepreneur trying to get their start in whatever they field is, just trying to get it off the ground, you know what I'm saying, and keep it in the sky.
Okay.
What's some advice you could give them?
Truthfully, never give up. You know, whatever, despite what people say, but a lot of people say, "Oh, you're doing too much," right? And it's not me doing too much. I'm just trying to figure out what works for me.
Yeah.
So if something failed, it didn't work, like the clothes store, it didn't give me what I needed, let's try something else. So keep trying until you figure it out, and don't give up. And just, well, you still have to stay key to the one you're really passionate about. You stay true to that.
Yeah.
If no matter how big you get,
Right.
it's still yours.
Yeah.
Like even the barbershop, I'm a licensed barber. Even though I don't cut hair anymore, at my home, I got a barbershop in my garage with the lights and everything set up just like a barbershop. So that was my first license.
Yeah.
That was one of my first businesses. So you still stay true to it. And that was Progressive Barbers, you know. So that's why it's called now.
Yeah.
You know. But you just stay true to it, you know. I tell anybody to, you know, get started. Finances play a part.
Yeah.
You got to keep things up and running. And I was talking to one of my friends. I said, "Man, you know what? So ain't got nobody I can borrow money from." So I said, "You know who my friend got to be? You got to be the bank." So I tell anybody, keep your credit straight, pay your bills on time. So when they need you for a loan, they may give you the loan to help start you up. You know, so I had learned that over the years because I funded all my stuff out of pocket.
Yeah.
If I always, you know, but now get more smarter and wiser. Say, keep those things in place. So when your business gets a little weak, go get a loan, pay it back, and then loan to you again. So I tell anybody, my advice is, if you're going into their career, trade, or something, you be an entrepreneur, stay true to what you believe in, keep your credit clean. That's it.
It's amazing right there, man. Like once again, I wanna say thank you coming join Grind.Music.Repeat, starting out season 3 right here. I thank you so much right now. This is very enlightening, and I hope the viewers, you know, they going through something. If they, you know, if they pick up something from here, you know what I'm saying, write them notes down and be able to share that to somebody. I'm gonna send out a little bit of love. You got somebody want to send out some love too?
Oh, just my family, man. My grandmother, you know, I love Llewelyn Hicks to death. So just my family, my friends, you know, everybody that's pointing to me, I point to them.
Yeah.
Anybody who got questions, they can always contact me on Facebook or Instagram at Progressive of NC or Progressive Healthcare and Counseling. So I'm on all social media platforms under my name or Progressive of NC. There's so many questions I can go on and on and talk about, you know, because this is my passion. Being an entrepreneur is truly my passion. It's probably more than just really sitting down talking to a client one-on-one. I like the aspect of the business side, and I think that's when I found my passion. Okay, we can have a mental health agency, but my passion was being the owner, not really sitting there talking every day. You know, so I found my passion.
I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to everything you love. I want to say shout out to everything that I love. I want to say shout out to that Shell. Shout out to all of your endeavors that you created, and I want to say shout out to not giving up. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm pretty sure people would greatly appreciate that you didn't stop. You know what I'm saying? When you encounter your obstacles and stuff like that. And I just want to say thank you again, man, for coming to join me on the show, man. This right here, nice, man. I thank you. I say it again. I just love, you know what I'm saying, because it's creating this from its conception. It came from just, you know, just wanting to have music conversations and stuff like that, and then just seeing how much of a role played in my life with music, and then it's just so many things that music branches out into. Like how you said you was at the you flew out there to Vegas and met Master P and Nas, and they trying to get they clothing apparel and stuff like that. And then it's just the crazy little places that music could be. You never find it.
For the ring with the heavyweights. World Series on number one.